Welcome to the Horror Hour.
We all go a little mad. Get you. The dead Here's Johnny.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of the co-hosts, George, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Yutaka, and we're going to talk everything horror. I just love it. It's so cool, and I watched too much Disney Channel as a kid.
That was a stellar American accent.
Thank you. It's just slightly muddled.
That was
It's
some
every
like
region.
Yutaka's having a talented Mr. Ripley moment. Or the stepfather. He's like, who the fuck is this person? He's like, what just happened?
You should have kept going. We could. Well, I still may cut that. That's good, George. We'll go right into it. So thank you, George, for that amazing introduction. So today I'm really excited because we are joined with several Fangoria folks. We've got Phil Nobile Jr.
Hello.
And then we've got Angel Melanson.
Yay! Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then
you got this. You got this.
Amalia.
Yay! Yeah.
3 for 3.
Oh gosh, like we haven't been practicing for hours, y'all. Well, we're super excited to have you all on to talk about the upcoming Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. See, now I slip up. Which are this Sunday.
Woo.
I said that, and then I was like, oh, wait, yeah. But I'm actually really excited. So let's start with how are you all today? I guess I should say. We are not prepared on this one. Your American accent threw me off, George.
I'm so sorry about that. Maybe no, that was so bad. I'm really sorry. We can start again. It's fine.
Go Canadian, George. Switch over to Canadian.
I have to do Valley Gum.
Sorry.
Sorry about.
But yes, how are you all today?
Good.
Decent. Just kidding. Great.
And it's been a really kick-ass year for horror, so I'm really excited, but I am curious, who are you most excited to see as a presenter?
Well, Amma directed it. So I want to hear her. I want to hear all her thoughts about the presenters.
Yes.
I want to hear what presenters were great to work with, who were terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody was wonderful, and that's the truth. That's not just like bullshit. I think the ones that I was like, I feel like I knew most of them, but I did not know Radio Silence, and they were so cool, and they were just like big geeks like us, so it was great.
We fangirl over Radio Silence all the time.
They were lovely.
I mean, we're allowed to say it was pre-taped, right? We're
I
saying
didn't
that,
know.
right?
I'm like, are we pretending that it hasn't happened yet, or it has?
Listen. Screw that.
We're not
When is this
announcing the
airing?
winners. Oh, well, I mean, I was going to drop it tomorrow. I could
it.
cut some things. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, nobody gave me any marching orders.
My
But-
pre-show is going to be real weird because it's like it's known that it's pre-taped, but in the pre-show, I'm like, well, we got to go to the awards and film this now. Like, alternate universe, you're going to be like, Angel lost it. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I don't want to sit here for an hour and pretend that we haven't filmed it.
Oh,
Okay.
no. Yeah, let's not do that.
Screw it.
Yeah, let's just have some fun.
Like people were posting their selfies on Instagram of their outfits. Tiffany Shepis did her thing. We filmed this already. We know who all the winners are, and we're not telling you.
Well, we won't do that.
Tough shit.
Oh, this is going to be a great episode. I wish
Well,
I was
Yutaka-
drinking with this. This could have been a great drinking game. How many? I did not plan this one, y'all. I'm actually kind of excited to see Bria Grant. I adore her work. Yeah. Anyone? No? Okay.
You want our feedback on Bria?
Yeah. Let's
talk about
Angel, go.
Oh man, let me start this over. Let's talk about this. Okay. Man, I wish
You don't want my one sentence review on Bria? No?
Yeah, let's have it.
All right, ready? You ready for this? Bria rocks. That is my official stance.
Oh my God.
Shit.
I feel so weird. You're wearing the shirt. I feel so
Yeah.
weird looking at you two guys. Like I feel like I know you because I've been looking at your faces for like the last week from the stuff you guys sent in.
Yeah, you're both in the show. You know that,
Oh,
right?
me? Oh, yes. Oh my God. I can't wait for like everybody in the horror community to finally realize that I am an icon and just for
They should
for everything.
honestly just go to your Instagram.
Exactly.
Hashtag parenting goals.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Can I
Hashtag
put this on
parenting
my resume? Is this an IMDb credit?
You
Is that how
should.
this works?
You should. I mean, like somebody will spend 10 minutes in our orbit and suddenly it's in their Twitter bio, you know, seen in or associated with. So yeah, do that shit. But you know, let me give you some context because this is like we really tried to get as a big of a mosaic of the crowd as we could. So it goes by quickly. Don't anybody think that they're going to be on the show for 5 minutes. But like it's a really cool thing to just see all these different walks of life talking about how they came into horror and how horror found them. And it goes by quick, but there's a lot of folks in there and a lot of folks that you'll recognize and know from, you know, social media and whatnot and the movies. It's pretty cool. It's a cool moment and it sort of starts off the show. So
I
spoiler.
can't watch it without crying. Like it's so touching. Like every time, like I've watched it at least 15, 20 times now. And every time I start crying, I'm like, what the fuck?
I can't wait to see. That's such a. Oh man, that's gonna make me tear up thinking about it.
It's a
I need to
special-
watch this with you live because I just want to see you weeping.
We should make Emma go on Twitch during the night and like do a live feed.
Yes,
During the
100%.
Like
awards.
me like ugly crying out of exhaustion and also like my emotions.
Absolutely.
That's so exciting. Is there any other, obviously without spoiling anything, is there any other exciting things that everyone will like surprises and things that people can look forward to on the night?
Yeah, someone dies
Love that.
on camera. No one dies. But and I was just teasing Emma before, like the presenters, I was able to sort of sit in from 3,000 miles away on Zoom while we were taping these presenters, and it was just so cool seeing these folks show up, just giving of themselves and giving of, you know, they just love this crowd. They love horror. People that had probably much better things to be doing that sort of showed up and just come to hang out with us and to celebrate horror. It was really, I don't know, it was like maybe the best part, maybe the best day for me, just watching everybody file in and that energy, because the energy got reset every 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It wasn't like 10 hours in, we were all tired. It was like, there's a new person in the room
Yeah.
and they were all excited. It was cool. It was a really cool thing. And last year we couldn't do that because COVID was in full effect. And
Oh yeah.
it was a little bit different. So we just sort of reached out to people and they filmed themselves in their homes, you know, on their iPhones. And we got a different crowd out of that as a result. Like Jamie Lee Curtis filmed from her shower and that was very cool. But to come to the studio and to sort of share in the moment and have the lighting match on these presentations was, you know, it was nice.
One of the other cool things was you would see someone leaving as someone was coming in, and you would see a moment of like horror people fangirling other horror people. Like it
That's
was
the
so great.
moment.
It was a full day of fangirling, but it was like icons fanning over icons, and then they would be like chatting each other up outside. It was just like such a weirdly cool dynamic to like see that happening. Like it's weird.
Yeah, and Angel was there in person. She was like all hands on deck, but also filming things for this other stuff that we were doing. So they got to experience it all in person. And I was just like a little orphan boy knocking on my Zoom window.
Please, sir, may I have a selfie?
Yeah. Can you let Bria say hello to me?
I have so many selfies that I haven't been able to share, so I know what I'm doing Monday morning after the chainsaws.
We had like the computer. Everyone say hi to Phil.
Yeah, they would walk me around like
Wheeling him about the studio with a little Afghan blanket thrown over the knees.
like Ben Franklin being carted around Philadelphia after he was too big to walk under his own power. He would.
Yes, exactly like that.
That's a local reference. That's a regional thing. I realized I didn't translate as I was saying it. I apologize.
Okay, Philly boy.
I mean, I got George. Did you get that reference?
He was the president, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
He was?
No, no, he
Oh,
wasn't.
No.
there was a Roosevelt president, wasn't there?
Yeah, there were two Roosevelt presidents. This is taking a turn.
Oh,
But
I love it.
Ben Franklin
oh you
created the
said
post
Ben
office.
Franklin. Sorry.
Yeah, he created
No,
the post
Benjamin
office.
Franklin. He's from Hamilton.
If you say so.
God.
There was a printing press situation. He's on the $100 bill, even though he's not a president. That
Didn't
might
think
be
the
the source of
kite.
your confusion.
Benjamin, yeah, it's in a rap. Jay-Z goes, Benjamin Franklin in $100 bill rap from Great Gatsby. That's what it's from.
Mhm. All about the
I like-
Benjamins is a reference to.
I get those
Benjamin
confused.
Franklin, as seen in Hamilton, and also some Jay-Z shit.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh,
Who's
this
done
is
that?
this is going stellar. I love it. I'm gonna keep asking you some historical questions or history questions later,
Just to
George.
keep us on our toes, yeah.
Yeah. So, how long did it take to film the entire show, and then edit it together?
Oh gosh. We had 3 days of shooting, like the principal shoot. And then post, like we put this whole show together in like about a month. So
Wow.
honestly, the last week and a half, I think me and the editor maybe slept about 8 hours total. We've been editing around the clock to get it turned in time. But
And I have the timestamps on the text to prove it.
you're
I was like, how
many-
is she awake now? The fuck is happening? It was yeah. It was like some real like heart of darkness shit. I was getting like these, cryptic messages from Emma at 4 a.m. He's like, no one
Didn't
trusts
make
anyone
sense
anymore. I have not slept. I don't know if I'm dreaming or if I'm awake.
I was like doing notes in my sleep.
I'm used to seeing weird timestamps on Slack, but that's because everyone is in different time zones. And I'm like, no, you're up the street from me. We're in the same time zone. I'm like, why are you awake at this time?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a labor of love, but I think it turned out really cool. I hope everybody loves it.
I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
That was a soundbite of somebody trying to wrap this up.
Oh,
Emma's like, but it all turned out great, and I hope y'all tune in on Sunday. And then she's
Yeah.
like, got her finger on the button,
Yeah.
trying to get the fuck out of here.
As
she's
you
like,
throw
"I
some Benjamins
directed
at
this.
the lens.
I don't need this.
So I think my scatterbrain went from like, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta get this done. And then all of a sudden it's like, what if everybody hates it? Everybody's gonna hate it. Oh my God. So now I'm just like, please love my show.
Critics
I
are
think people are
awful.
gonna love it. I
I
mean,
think so. Yeah, I'm
like
excited.
if you're gonna take the time to write a bad review of this sort of like this scrappy little rascals thing that we all just like scrambled together to put together, like I don't want to know you. You're there to celebrate the moment, I think is the word you used, Yutaka. It's just a cool moment. It's just cool, like different people from different spots of the scene, like Brian Fuller, Tanana Reeve Dew, Rachel True, Jeff
Darcy.
Daniel Phillips, who?
Darcy.
Darcy, Diana
Darcy.
Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl. It's just, I don't know, it's just cool. And then for the audience, Emma just like tapped to the local horror crowd in LA, and they all turned out in numbers like with just such an enthusiastic volume. I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. And if I don't know who's gonna hate on that. There's just too much heart and spirit to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not the Oscars, but we spent 2 months complaining about the Oscars. We don't want to be the Oscars.
The anti-Oscars.
No,
Also,
what I
who
mean?
shits on
Clap
something
and make
that's just like a celebration? Like, yeah, if someone shits on that, that's kind of lame.
Yeah, I think don't sweat it, Em. I think we're going to be okay.
I'm excited because the horror genre is so often just like, what am I thinking? Well, the community may be,
Ostracized.
yeah, I guess, but the community may be large, but it feels like close knit, like a family. And we never get to see horror films be awarded. So the fact that we got all these nominees and just, it's also to celebrate just a really fun time. This past year has been awesome. Although we're going to talk about some snubs in a bit because I have some complaints about that. But honestly,
Well, you know what I want to say though, Yutaka, is that it's an honor just to be nominated. I'm gonna just keep saying that. Because all the people that didn't win are gonna text me on Sunday night, and I'm gonna go, you know what? It's an honor just to be nominated. So
Some
get
people
used to
don't
that.
know they're born, do they? Do you know what I mean? It's all the little things in life. I do have a question though, because I was just thinking, obviously, recently, for anyone who is in that world, it was the Met Gala, which is obviously a night of glamour for some people and over the topness for others. I want to know if there's think of all the horror movie characters in the world, if who is going to turn up to, not this one, but in general, it to the Fangoria Awards and win Best Dressed. Which
Ooh.
horror? Who's turning the party? Who's
In
bringing the
the
gowns?
year? Are we talking about this year?
I mean, we can talk about this year out of the nominees, or you talk in general. If there's any type of, if you think what horror character in the history of horror is going to turn up at a Fangoria Awards and just you're going to be like, yes, they won.
The Cenobites collectively, I think, like not just one of them, but if they like walked in
Ensemble.
like as like a
Mhm.
brood ensemble kind of situation,
Mhm.
they would hands down that would win.
I'm gonna go with Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Emma, this is exactly what I was about to say. And in fact, Gary Oldman's Dracula did win for performance in the second ever Chainsaw Awards, I want to say. I mean, he didn't show up in that fucking red gown. That would have been amazing. But it's interesting that you talk about this because this is the first year that there's going to be a best costume category. There's a costume designer named Jolene Richardson who very nicely pestered me over text and said, are you going to do a best costume this year? And I was like, well, why? I wasn't thinking about that, but sure. Go and send me nominations. Use your eyeball. You know, that's how the Oscars do it. The actors nominate the actors. The cinematographers nominate the cinematographers. So I was like, costume designer, go nominate 5 costume designers. And so she did. She called my bluff. And so we got to do a costume design award for the first time in 31 years, which is crazy because costume is an integral part of horror, I think, and it's long overdue. And Emma is a clothing designer. She has a line of clothing, so she knows well how much clothing means to the horror aesthetic.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
And it's interesting because horror movies in general, like when we talk about the Oscars, have very rarely been nominated for Oscars. Where you see the most nominations for horror into like the Academy Awards have been through costumes and makeup. But yeah, very interesting. I'm glad.
I'm excited. I mean, I've already gone through and made all my picks, whether they win or not. But I've got my picks. So
I want to see your picks.
Well,
Yeah, let's
you
put
can see
cards on the
George's
table.
on his Instagram.
Show the pics. Show the pics.
I think because it's its only nomination, and I really went hard for this movie too. So if I could see Bingo Hell win an award, I would be very happy. Just because I love the movie in general and Gigi and all of that. So
Yep, nominated for costume design this year. Interesting.
I have like the worst poker face, so I'm like trying not to. Like,
yeah, it's okay. I'm not
Turn
even
your camera off.
looking.
Turn your camera off.
Look away.
Yeah. So Bingo Hell's a popular one. What I forgot what we were talking about. I'm sorry, man.
You're
It's been a long
fine.
week.
We were talking about who's from the horror community would win Best Dressed.
Oh, she said Gary Oldman. I'm going to go with that. I don't know if Gary Oldman considers himself part of the horror community, but okay.
That's very true.
his character, like him as Dracula.
Yeah, as the character. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you our Fangoria social media thing during the Met Gala, there was some Photoshop.
Oh my
shenanigans, and
God.
we had Gabriel show up, and we had Ratma. It was
I don't know who
Good time.
runs your social media handle, but give them a fucking raise because they crack me up every damn time. I have one of this. I don't know if you ever see on Twitter. There's a artist who cross stitches or like Tales of the Stitch, and I
Yes.
have a Ratma doll.
whoa.
I had
It's
I
cute.
went hard for VHS 94, but hail Ratma all the way. But yeah, that and Gabriel, because I mean Gabriel was the moment.
Yeah,
Chair throw and all.
they're the icons of the year in the narrative space. Outside of that space, I'd have to say Boulet Brothers, of course, but
I mean,
That would be no contest. Like as soon as they walk in, it's like when Disney is nominated for Best Animated Feature, and like
Yeah,
you're
everybody else can
nominated
just go
against them.
home.
You're like, well, it was just nice to be nominated. I already know. So the Boulets walk in, you're like, well, this was fun. Thank you.
I cannot wait to go see them this Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm seeing, she saw them in LA. Angel did. I'm
Oh.
going.
It
I'm
is
going the end of the
amazing.
month in Philadelphia.
yeah, I'm driving up to Chicago to see them, and
Very nice.
so excited. I mean, we maybe not George. George is doing his best poker face because Liam's not here. Love Dracula and the Boulet brothers. So
I don't
They're
like
there.
them. I just haven't really watched it.
Get in
I'm not a
there.
hater.
Get on it. Get on it.
It's a shame, George. I feel like
It's
you'd love
addictive.
it.
I know. I
It's
need to
fashion, it's horror, and they probably get messier than a lot of the queens on other shows. And so it's really good.
Yeah, there's about 1,000% more spider eating. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah.
That's true.
just a tad.
What else can we tell you about the Chainsaw Awards, Yutaka?
So, all right. Well, let's talk. All right. Since
You want to know who won? I'll tell you.
yeah.
No.
How about one of your favorite past winners? Since he brought up the Met Gala, because I was thinking that, but I'm curious, of all the past winners, who was one of your favorites that you were just happy to see win? Since
It is amazing and adorable. You think I memorize past winners? Do you have a list
Probably
handy for
not.
this question? Because I don't. Good Lord.
I do have an answer for that one.
Please,
I was
Angel,
thinking like I
save me.
definitely don't, but I do. Last year I was very excited for Host to take home an award because when that came out, I was just like, we were like in the thick of like lockdown kind of stuff, and I was like, just everyone was just kind of feeling like ugh and weird. And then Host was one of the scariest damn things I had seen in like a long time. Like I was scared to go to the bathroom, and like never happens. So to see them win, I was like, that was just such like a celebration of like a moment, as you guys say, like of the year, and kind of just captured this little moment in time. And I was like, yes, let's celebrate that. That's exciting.
as we're all on Zoom, something's going to happen at some
Yeah.
point. But Host was just so phenomenal. Like they all gave the fact that all the actors did so much of the work themselves. I'm like, wow, and the story, and now I think it's technically the scariest movie scientifically.
I did see that with like the heart rate, right?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
It surpassed Sinister, which I think both are great films, so I'm very happy. But yeah, Host is
It's
so
not a
good.
healthy double feature though, because that heart rate for 4 hours is going like, or not 4 hours, because Host is not a 2-hour movie.
I mean, does it burn calories? Because I could use that.
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
Working on my,
I'm trying to think who past winners that I.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the,
Good
I'm gonna
job,
have the
Yutaka.
cheat sheet. Any
You
other
all, I
answers.
can't wait to edit this, which is the worst thing because I hate editing. So I did that to myself.
You know
Well,
what kind of came? You know what kind of vanished from the conversation a little too soon? It won best streaming premiere last year was The Perfection on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That's a perfect little movie, man. That's just such a
I enjoyed
great.
that.
Ooh.
Oh man, it's tight. I love that movie so much. So that's my answer for last year. And you know what? People are forgetting that Lupita Nyong'o won in 2019 for Us, which is very cool.
She should've
Has
won
Nev
every-
Campbell ever won anything? in these awards?
Nev, why am I googling all this for you?
Just
Look
my
it up.
heart.
Nev Campbell.
Probably. I don't know. It's 96. Give me a fucking break. Nev Campbell Chainsaw Award.
I feel like I watched every Chainsaw Awards I could find in preparation, and I still.
But there's
can't
not a
remember
ton of
them.
televised ones, are they?
Just the Big Fuse one.
That was
Fuse
so
in
cool. Can we do that again?
2006.
I know. I was like, how did they pull that off?
Yes.
Well, here we go. She won in 1997. She won Best Actress for Scream, and
There it
then
is.
in 1998 she was nominated for Best Actress for Scream 2, but she lost.
Robbed.
Rob.
She lost to somebody. Rude.
To somebody.
And yeah, so she wasn't nominated for Scream 3, which I think was her best performance. But
Wow. So what's this now?
Hot
The
take.
question that I have is like, will in next year's awards, would she be nominated for supporting for Scream?
don't say supporting. That breaks my heart.
Oh.
Well, she's the supporting. Like,
She is supporting George.
She's
Give
Dr.
her-
Loomis in that movie. Come on.
She may be supporting, but she also carried it. So
Whoa. Okay. Oh, we're getting spicy. We're getting spicy. Hell yes.
Oh my! He's still just mad he didn't get to see it before me.
Mm.
no. I just wanted more of her, but I would anyway. And she gave like a weird thing at the premiere for the Lincoln Lawyer the other day. She was like, I don't know, I haven't been approached. We're like, you've been approached. Don't lie to us.
George,
I
you
mean,
saw
they-
it 3 times in one day. Come on.
3 times in one day. Did you
Yeah,
like it?
and I was in this. Yes, I did, and I was the same. It was the exact same movie theater screen. So I kept like just going out, waiting for 10 minutes. They would clean, and then I would go back in. And the guy was like,
same seat, or did you mix it up a little?
No, I went from like row F and then row G, and then back to row F.
Good, smart.
Yeah, but actually, there is someone who is not nominated. I don't actually know how it would work if they would be nominated for this, but I had to shout this out, and it's the Queen, who, well, she's known for Stranger Things, I suppose, these days, but my love for I wanted to be in Scream 6.
Oh,
she was the only part of Fear Street 1997 I liked. And I just want
You're gonna say her name?
I'm stumped.
I think everyone should know her name. Sadie Sink. I just want Sadie Sink to like, I think she needs to come into the horror genre more. And I thought she was amazing in Fear Street. The one that she was in. And I love her. And
we promised to everyone that the Chainsaw Awards are going to be much more or better.
Succinct.
Yes, better produced and directed than this. This is just to get you all prepared and have a good time and
no contest.
Yeah.
But you said you were going to start over a while ago, and I made a mental note to keep throwing wrenches at you. So,
I'm
glad
damn!
you
I already
start
forgot.
over.
Honestly, George wanted us to end it, be like, and hey, Fangoria, let us be a podcast on your network. And I'm like, George, no, we got a long way to go there, buddy.
What am I, Oprah?
So you said we're not going to end it. We're going to throw it in the middle.
Here, bring it in the middle. And now, the awkward silence portion of this horror hour. So
we've had worse.
Yeah.
I live in the awkward silence. I will
Sure.
I will sit here and marinate in it.
Oh my God. That's the worst when interviewing or anything. Like, I mean, the first time we interviewed Phil, I was sweating bullets, and now I'm just like, he's just fucking with us.
No, but I do.
Everyone figures that out eventually.
Question, I do have a good question. What category would you like to see in Fangoria Chainsaw Awards 2023 that we haven't got already?
A new category.
Cinematography.
Ooh,
that's a layup, isn't it? Like, it seems silly that there's not one in there already for cinematography. And I did notice when I was like doing research on the old Chainsaw where some categories came and went. TV used to be a big one, like best actor on a TV show, best supporting actor on a TV show. And don't tell the bros, but we like got rid of the gender divide in the performance category, so there's even fewer performance categories than ever before.
Don't tell the bros.
Don't tell the bros.
Yes,
like, I don't think they've noticed yet. Just don't tell them.
That's our target demo. I'm sure.
But there was a full, I want to say 8 acting categories in the Chainsaw Awards at one point, and I feel like that's too many.
Yeah.
I love the
7
Rondos, but we're not the Rondos. We don't want to get into like everybody gets something.
That's my awards show. Everyone wins. Yay.
Cinematography is an easy one to say that's missing in there. But the other one we did add this year is best documentary, because there just seems to be more and more documentaries about horror every year. And then it just felt weird to put like a documentary that someone spent 4 years putting together against Joe Bob. Do you know what I mean? Which was what we did last year. Sorry. But so there's like a nonfiction thing for like the personalities like Joe Bob and Elvira and whatnot. But documentaries now got its own category, which I think is cool.
I'm curious, you can't tell us who won, but how many different kills did you all get? Or how many were submitted for best kill? Since that's a write-in. Oh, okay.
No idea. It's a write-in vote that has to be hand counted, and you best believe I was not about to be the one doing that. So the very unfortunate soul named Jimmy Shaw, who got to count the best kill categories. What I think and what I learned from past years with when Jessica Safa-Vamir was doing this stuff is that generally there was a clear winner. Okay. So it wasn't like I've got to do a recount because this one had 5 more than, like, one blew everyone else away. Last year is what I'm saying. So I think that I don't know, for Jimmy's case, I choose to believe that's what happened again this year, because otherwise he probably is cross-eyed now from hand counting, because it was just a blank field. It wasn't even like, so somebody might have worded it differently, and it might be worded 80 different ways by the time 600 people vote, and he has to count all that shit. So, just send Jimmy your strength.
I need to ask him. I'm curious, like, were there like like 5 or 6 that like kept happening that you would see, or was it like one that was like obviously this, like everyone is naming this one? It's probably
Yeah.
more like 1 or 2, I would think.
And I think when it was Invisible Man, it was the dining room or the
Oh,
restaurant throat
yeah.
slit, and it was just a
Mm.
clear winner.
Oh, such a good scene, dude.
That was sick.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was shocked at the winner this year because in my mind, I thought I knew what it was, and then and I love what won. I fully support it, but I was just like, oh shit.
Oh, I love that already. Some surprises.
I also love that you were looking down there to really, you were like,
Yeah.
I was really surprised with.
Don't
which
give it
one.
away.
Trying
I
to
know,
cover.
I have the worst. I'm so afraid I'm going to say something and give something away that I'm like, I feel bad that I'm being so quiet. I'm so fucking worried I'm going to like slip.
Yeah. If I can jump in for a sec, one thing I do want to talk about and hear from, because it was like fixing the engine of a car while it's going 70 miles an hour down the highway, right? So I didn't have a minute to even ask, but I want to hear about Emma's thought process about the aesthetic and the look and the vibe and like how she sort of like got there and some of the challenges in creating that.
Well, I think it was interesting because I think when you and I first started talking, I had a clear direction I was going to go in. And then we ended up renting the location of Slashback Video, which is like a retro style like video store out here. And I was like, all right, well, let's like lean into that. Let's like go with this like 80s, 90s aesthetic. And then the more I thought about that, the more I thought about it. Like, I kind of remember the moment where I figured out all the pieces. Like my partner and I were like super stoned at City Walk here in LA, getting twisters at KFC. Or walking around, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this should all be about like the origins of like how we all started loving horror. And because like for, like thinking about like retro stuff, most of us are at least old enough to remember a video store. And I distinctly remember like going to them and like exploring and finding movies for the first time and like discovering that women could be horror directors for the first time from a video store. So like, I was like, well, let's lean into that. And so that me and the writer, Michael Varati, really talked about that a lot. And we sort of decided, we built that into the show from the very base of it up is like, our origins of horror and how we all came to love the genre and what it means to be a horror fan. We put that before giving famous people shiny things, it was really important for us to like have heart in the show and to make it about community more than just giving people awards.
Love that. I mean, I remember working at a video store back in the day when, VHS was the thing and you'd have people returning them and it didn't work and then you'd have to splice it and all that. But I love that. That vibe sounds amazing.
I didn't know what the set was going to look like. Like, I didn't know what the vision was or anything. They're just like, this time, this day, here's the address. So, like, I showed up, and when I first walked in, and it wasn't even lit and, like, looking as cool as it was going to look and, like, as, like, the final product. But I walked in, and I was like, holy shit, you guys, like, this is so cool. And then the lights and the fog, and I was like, okay, this is, like, really cool.
Yeah, Brendan Haley, the production designer, and I sent him, like, I photoshopped this weird, like hideous conglomeration of just things together. I was like, this is what I want it to look like. And like you could seriously hold up my like shitty Photoshop in front of his set and you'll see like he really pulled off like what was in my brain and sort of accomplishing like all of those like feelings of like, growing up in like the late 80s, early 90s. And that's really like the aesthetic of the show.
Oh man, I might actually cry watching this then. That like brings back memories because that was like the best Friday night, just going through the aisles, seeing what's out, what's new, what's old. I mean, damn, this one's going to hit me in the heart.
And Slashback, Emma, correct me if I'm wrong, but Slashback is almost like an art installation. It's not like an actual, you can go and rent them.
Yeah, you can't rent them.
And when I was there, some of those boxes were actually just sort of hand-drawn pieces of art, like that sort of mimicked the style.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still the case in there?
No,
it's all just
it's
commercial stuff.
Videos.
Yeah, it's a big, really comprehensive collection of like horror VHSs, like original covers, like international covers, that like stuff that we would buy off eBay and like put on our shelf. Is like the stuff that populates the store.
And those standees, those horror cardboard standees that used to make to promo the things. And so that's where our host David Dasmalchin is sort of talking to the audience from. And David's great because he's like, that dude is just blowing up, but he also at his heart, just kind of more than anything in the world, wants to be a horror host. Like he wrote a whole comic book about a horror host who fights monsters and stuff. And it's just, you can tell it's just he's in his happy place when he's doing that. And he is gracing us with his presence for the second year in a row now, which is very cool. Like we love him. He's such a fan of the brand and such a supporter of the brand. And it just, I've never even met him. So Amma, you and Angel are like, you got to bask in the glow of David.
I did not know that you haven't met him.
He is, he was the heart and soul of Suicide Squad.
Yes. He's lovely. He's like every bit as lovely as you would like hope for him to be.
That makes me so happy to hear.
And like Phil said, you can just love that. You can tell that he just loves this stuff so much.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
When he got to be his character, I think I could say that. There's definitely photos of it at this point on the internet. But
that's what I didn't say. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but one of you guys can say it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like when he was like, that's when he shined. Like that's when you could feel how excited he was to be there and to be Dr. Fearless. And that was so much fun. And I think that part of the show turned out great too.
Watching him improv as Dr. Fearless is like wild because he legit just becomes this completely different character, and it's like this bob wig. So he'll like turn his back to the camera and like turn to the camera, do a line, and then turns away, thinks of some other outlandish shit to say, looks back down the barrel of the lens and like says something else crazy, and then does this weird little like vampire laugh, and it's just so wild to watch. And I'm like dying, and I'm trying to like shut up because they're recording sound, but I'm just like I can't like stifle this laugh because he's just like on it.
He was fabulous.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it.
Speaking of that, you guys will be on Shudder, which we're a shill for. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm really excited. So how is it going to be, premiering this on Shudder?
Well, they did it last year, which was awesome. And we were able to sort of have them host us again this year. It just like, where else are we going to do this? Do you know what I mean? Like it's, and it blows my mind that there's horror fans that aren't subscribed to Shudder or using someone else's password on Shudder. However you got to get your Shudder, you should have it because there's a lot of really great shit on there. It's just, I would say it's essential. And I guess I am shilling for them because I have been,
I have two accounts on their payroll so I can't before. Say anything.
But, it's, the other part of it is that what works so well with Joe Bob is that it's on at a certain time. Like they use their streaming, their Shudder TV section, right? To sort of have everyone tune in at the same time. And there's kind of nowhere else, unless you're going to get into like actual networks, which we're not, a whole network. If they were going to run horror awards, they would have done it already. But sure. Shudder knows the value of it. And that we're able to use that platform to have everybody show up at the same time. I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern, and then you can all do your math about where that is in your time zone, George. But it's airing at the same time around the world, which is kind of cool.
That's exciting. A big group chat. There needs to be a group chat on somewhere. Or are there hashtags? Have we got specific hashtags that we can follow? Is it Chainsaw Awards 2022?
Jason, Chainsaw Awards 2022? Just Chainsaw Awards? I don't know. Well,
who else is taking Chainsaw Awards, right?
I was going to say, yeah, I feel like it's going to trend because I think it's great that Joe Bob is back. That is trending every night, super high. So I'm really excited because I really think like Shudder has been putting out, I just feel, especially with the Elvira special and everything, that people are finally seeing Shudder, and Shudder just champions all horror, whether it's, a wide release or streaming only. I'm excited. And I agree. If you don't have Shudder, you're not a horror fan. I'm sorry.
I didn't say that. For the record, I didn't say that. You know how many fucking times I get accused of gatekeeping every week, Yutaka? You can't just be saying that on a thing with me. I can't be here saying who isn't a horror fan. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
You're trying to get me killed, man. Come on.
Oh my God. I'll say this though, like as a director, like once we were finally almost done with the show and we got to put that Shudder logo with the front of it, it felt so real. It was so exciting for me. Like I was just like, oh my god, I directed something that's going to be on Shudder. And like Sam and I started at Sam Zimmerman, what's his job there? I don't know.
Sam, he's I don't know his official title of these points, but he's the human curator of Shudder, which I credit as the difference between them and every other streaming service, that he's a human being.
But him and I started at Fangoria together back in the day. That's how old I am now. But it's exciting to see him thrive. It's exciting to see Shudder thrive, and for a place for independent, like I feel like the movies that land on Shudder are like made for horror fans. It's not made because it's gonna have a big audience, in the theaters. They're not made to make money straight to video. They're made because the people who created them love horror, and that's why it's so exciting to be part of like Shudder in any way.
Yeah, and that their catalog is not something that just some corporation is snapping up and buying. Like it's each one is handpicked by Sam and his counterpart in the UK, I believe. I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry.
UK Sam.
UK Sam. Yeah. And he knows his shit. You know what I mean? So there's very few bad movies on Shudder. It's pretty cool. And we are, honored to sort of like be taking over their Sunday night. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a fun thing. But before the show, there's gonna be a pre-show on our socials and such, and Angel can tell you more about that.
Yes, let's hear about that.
I don't know what time it is starting yet. I'll probably have a start time later this week or later today. Jason is frantically editing it right now. I sent him like 20 takes of an intro, so he's like, how many intros did you send me? And I'm like, all of them, I think. So pick the best one. But yes, that will be going on all of our socials at the same time, I think. So it's gonna Jason's working some magic, so you can watch it on like Facebook or Instagram or wherever, but you can watch it live, and that will immediately lead into like turn that off, get off of socials, and then go to Shudder and watch the actual show. But we have like a lot of special guests that I'm really excited about. Some really cool names I think we're keeping secret, so I won't say who
That's
they are.
okay. Oh, I'm so
But you will
excited.
definitely want to tune in for this.
I mean, it's not like I was going to do anything else on my Sunday. No, I actually have been waiting for this.
Give us your whole Sunday is what we're saying. It's a 5-hour pre-show, a 2-hour show. I was like, what are my parameters for this? I just get to ask anyone I want to talk to come and chat with me about this? Okay, here's 50 people that I want to talk with.
Love it. I have to ask then, since you can't tell us who, winners, I'm curious, who do you think, what film or icon, actor, or what do you think next year is going to be the big one that is to beat?
Scream.
X. Black Phone. Nope.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy year next year.
It's going to be a crazy year. I think Jenna Ortega is going to be nominated several times in one category and cancel herself out. So, she should be careful. She should stop doing horror movies this year.
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets for the win,
we didn't include them this year because the show didn't finish until 2022. Yeah. So I saw them on all these best of you. Listen, I was feeling bad that we'd left them off, but I think they're going on next year's ballot.
Yeah.
You think? No, just kidding. They should.
And every year for the next 6 years, I think.
I am a Yellow Jacket stan. Okay, I was hooked, and they would premiere it one day early if you were watching it on their app, and I'm like, I need it now. Yeah.
I had some sort of press access, and I watched the whole series in 24 hours. And I'm against that generally. I don't like binge watching things, but I couldn't stop watching Yellow Jackets when I started.
Jason sent me a big spoiler on that one. I was very upset. Oh, hello. Got the.
Oh, look at the cat letting the light in. It's a sign.
She's great.
Did you do the which Yellow Jackets character are you BuzzFeed quiz?
Oh yeah, I already knew who I was, and I was okay with it.
Okay, who are you?
I'm Misty. It happened.
Same. Okay.
Look, when she came in that room and pushed and just did all the coke, I'm like, oh, Like, that's great. I'm like, you get yourself a friend like that because she's looking out for you. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, like that scene was so. I love.
I like that was like the identifying scene you pick. I definitely got Misty. I knew I was going to. That scene where she just does all the coke. All the coke.
Gosh, I hope my parents don't watch this. No. Yeah, no, I'm Misty. She was so crazy. And yeah. But Jasmine Savoy Brown, that's who I want to win all the awards next year.
She'll be probably turning up in a couple of categories. I'm real curious when this new Hellraiser's coming out because I think that's going to turn some heads.
So excited.
If that happens this year.
And Halloween, of course, will also be.
I think that's going to be a dark horse at this point because I think people were kind of really split on the last one. Halloween Kills did not show up in the nominations the way Halloween did in 2018. So if they stick the landing, maybe something will happen here. If something significant happens to certain characters, maybe they'll be recognized via a nomination. I'm not sure. But
Lifetime Achievement Award goes to.
It's like because we're not unlike the Oscars in that regard. Like, Al Pacino should have won for The Godfather and Dog Day Afternoon, but he won for Scent of a Woman. But you knew when they were giving it to for Scent of a Woman, they're like, sorry about Dog Day Afternoon. You can have this one.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like that,
Yeah.
That was not a hint at all.
I'm looking most forward to the Black Phone. So I've seen it in a couple weeks. So I'm so excited.
At Fantastic Fest in September. And I think people are going to be knocked out by it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it.
It's really unfortunate to have to be like quiet about it for this long also. Like that's when I was very jazzed about, and I'm like, well, I can't really talk about it.
I don't know how you all do that. I like to not be able to tell George, I'm like, I saw a Scream. I was like, but I can't talk to you about it because you won't let me. Because I won't spoil anything for anybody. I spoil everything for myself, but just
with Black Phone, enough of us in an inner circle had seen it that we just went into the Slack and talked about it. It was fun.
That's why film festivals are nice because I go with you guys and I can like yell at you afterwards, like, oh my God, or like look at you like during a weird scene,
But with a movie like that, and with any movie, like when we see it early, and I'm seeing more and more movies early now, it's like you watch it and then I go, here's what's stuck in my head and here's what I took away. But I wonder what the crowd is going to latch on to. You know what I mean? And it's a fun little guessing game you can play if you've got a nice gap between when you see it and when it opens. So like, I'm real curious what's going to land with Men, that film, which also, by the way, I think is going to make a showing next year in the Chainsaw Awards. But
my buddy Yusuf sees it tomorrow and I'm jealous.
There's so many things that can become a thing. You know what I mean? In terms of like a conversation. And so I'm curious what that moment will be for that one. And Black Phone too, because I just don't think we had enough people to see it yet to have a real read on what they're going to latch on to.
Right. I know what I'd like to ask then, because we kind of, were there any snubs this year? Anybody, any movie or anything that you wanted to see nominated but wasn't?
I found it interesting that Godzilla vs. Kong was ignored. Like fully ignored.
That's a little odd, but I loved it. I thought it was, it wasn't like fantastic, but I had a great fucking time watching it.
Mm-hmm. The rest is hard for me to say. Angel, what came out? There's so many things at festivals and whatnot that kind of aren't even out yet. Like She Will, it's going to be maybe something when it comes out. But like, what came out last year that didn't show up this year in the nominations?
This is my problem because then you say like Godzilla and I'm like, oh, I had fun with that, but I'm like, wait, that would have counted as this year because this year has been just so like what is time that I think back to something and you tell me that I watched it this year and I would like fight you on it and then you would like show me your letterbox timestamp and I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess I did see that this year. And then the weird thing of seeing things at festivals, so I'm like, wait, that doesn't count as this year? It does count as this year? So it kind of throws off, like multiple things are throwing off my sense of time in that. Yeah. The first thing that came to mind as far as like a snub would have been Yellow Jackets, and it wasn't snubbed. It's just that it's going to be on next year's, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about VHS 94?
Well, they were
it's nominated.
Yeah, but the producers were like, guess Fangoria didn't like VHS 94. And I was like, bro. Yeah, here's something that pisses me off though, and it pisses me off about the Academy and about the people that comment on who gets nominated. And what this is all very democratic, right? Now I've got a secret cabal of people who I trust to sort of weigh in on nominations, right? But the votes come from the readers, 100%. So when the Academy posts Toni Collette and Hereditary, and the people get mad at the Academy,
It's just that person posting.
yeah, like that person didn't choose to not nominate Toni Collette. Toni Collette's acting peers chose to not nominate Toni Collette. And I'll find you an article that shows everybody that got inducted into the Academy that year. And, you know, I don't want to point fingers, but like Riz Ahmed had more to do with Toni Collette not getting nominated than that person on the social media account.
He's gonna get tagged in every tweet now about people complaining that Toni Collette doesn't have
As well, he
Oscar.
should. It's his fault.
Starting a campaign against Riz.
Yeah. So I don't know where I was going with all that, but
VHS 94.
VHS 94. So our collection of nominators, I don't know if that's even a word, but and I won't out them here, nominated it for creature design. And it's well deserved to be nominated for creature design. The problem is that we had an embarrassment of riches in 2021 for horror. And unless you want to become the awards that's nominating 18 things, you have to sort of pick and choose. You know, I mean, weirdly, some of it comes down to how much can I fit on a page of the magazine. You know, I can't publish 2,000 words of nominees. I have a page.
That's actually what happened to VHS 94 for best.
It was just
streaming
off the
feature.
page, and I was like,
it was
fuck
like,
'em.
oh, it's just it
They're
threw
gone.
off the alignment.
I mean, creature design. I'm happy. I mean,
Yeah,
The thing
honestly,
is, it's an honor just to be nominated.
it is.
there's only one movie. Well, there are two. I'm just happy to see them on the list, whether they win or not. And that's because one, it didn't get enough love, obviously, in the award circuit, and it should have. And that was Titan. And then two, just because it pissed like half the Malignant, because oh my god, it's one of the funniest things, like how that just divided the horror community. I'm like, what? Or actually just cinema, because people were like, that was shit. I go, that was great. I don't care what you say. There's something about James Wan being like, give me all this money and I'm going to make the movie I want to make. I'm like, okay, I respect that.
My favorite part about that, though, is that it was like marketed as a mainstream movie. You had no idea what you're going into. So, like, my parents could have very well like bought a ticket to go see that in the theater, and it's like the weirdest shit, and like we're like living for it. But I just love the idea of like my mom walking into this movie and having no idea what she's walking into, and never having seen anything half that weird in her life, and just being in the movie theater like, what is happening? Like, that's so great.
Yeah, that he smuggled something so original and bizarre into like the multiplexes, right? That's special, and that deserves recognition. And I think that for that reason, as well as many others, Malignant is rightly nominated this year.
It's going
If
to
there's
be
a snub, maybe it was the actress. I don't know, or the voice actor. I don't know. I think that movie defied categories in some ways, and it made it hard to like give everyone their due. But
New category for next year: voice actors.
Ooh.
voice actor. Best sentient tumor goes to
It was a toss-up. It was real close. But we got to give this one too.
surprise. Well, then I want to know sort of then for everyone sort of wrapping up, if you could all describe this year's awards show in one or two words, what is it? What would people is going to get people thinking?
Emma's
Fun
like
as shit.
finished.
As she just falls over asleep.
Actually, like,
Done.
I could just have one more day.
Emma's review is one more day.
Oh gosh.
One word, I would say like communion. Like it was a real, and I know I have a love-hate relationship with the idea of community and horror because I think we're all different tribes, but like it was a real communion. It was like everybody for an hour and change rowing in one direction, which was kind of like in and of itself is a cool thing to see. So I hope that vibe spills off the screen, and I hope people get behind it and get into it. And, you know, at least for the night, I know Monday morning I'll wake up to, well, how did this win? Oh, this was fixed. This was rigged, you know, and it'll be business as usual. But for Sunday night, I think I want people to sort of get behind what Amma created and what everyone showed up to help, you know, bring to life. And it's like our church. I think it's cool that it's airing on a Sunday because it's like a church service in a weird way. It's our church, right? And there's a couple of sermons in there, and there's like a memorial service in the middle, and you know,
I never want to talk about the in memoriam ever again.
No. And Angel shows up handing out food, so it's like the communion wafer.
I'm like an altar boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Church. I'm changing my answer to church, George.
Church.
Okay, that's the answer. I'll take
I'm
it.
excited. I can't wait. I hope everyone tweets about it. I can't wait just to see everyone celebrate it. I mean, it's really what I've been looking for. Honestly, to just get to chat with you all about it and shoot the shit. And I mean, it's exciting. And, you know, hopefully we didn't give anything away. I tried not to ask, you know, who won
Leading
what,
questions.
Yeah.
We all have amazing poker faces. So I'm sure we're fine.
Except for me. I just like every time you talk about it, I'm just like, I'm looking down so that I don't give anything away.
I mean, you didn't ask me. I would just flat out tell you who won.
Don't do that.
Ask me. Go ahead.
We'll
Get
wait
out
until
there.
we stop hitting.
No,
record,
because then
we'll-
I have to edit that. And I just, oh my gosh.
Leave it in. Everybody has a last day. Let's do this.
Oh, if I'm going to ask a question on here, I would actually be asking you what you thought about the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, we're doing that now, huh?
Oh, no.
Yeah. If I'm going to ask that question, that would be the question I asked.
You know what, guys? The cinematography was really good. It looked beautiful. It had some cool scenes.
Okay, thank you.
It had an
Very
actual
diplomatic.
massacre on the bus. There's
Yeah.
an
Oh my God, I
actual
loved
chainsaw
that.
Points for
massacre.
an actual
in
massacre.
Texas.
I loved that. I did feel, I felt bad for that one girl. You really thought you were going to make it out the window.
I wanted her to make it.
I did, but I was
rooting
like-
for her. I was like, she didn't do anything wrong. Like, she's great.
I enjoyed it for what it was for all 73 minutes. And I think it was one mask away and one script revision too far from being maybe my third or fourth one in the franchise. All the shit that you look at in that movie where you're like, why they're it's a food truck and they're buying a town. All that shit made sense in the script. There was a lot of hasty rewrites about who the protagonists were that kind of none of the rewrites from the script I read to the film made it better. They all those rewrites actively made it worse. Sorry, but there's some shit in the original script that really would have made it connect and make sense. And then I just wanted the face to look like Alice Krieg.
Oh,
That's all. Instead of like this wet rag, like he took it off of a known character actress. It should have looked like her for the whole movie. That would have.
That was rough because I was like, wait, I'm like, but is that his mom's face? But I'm like, but Alice Krieg is like, you need to make it look like Alice Krieg. And I was like,
Yeah.
It is his mom. It's not his mom. It is his mom's face that he's wearing. Like, okay.
Just, bring back Jessica Biel. That's all.
It was great. I think the world may be I don't know if it's a better or worse place for Halloween, the 2018 remake existing, because now
Yeah,
everyone's trying to do exactly the same thing, and that's rough.
I do, yeah. There's like a bit of sweetness to that film coming out because you're like, oh, it's great, we got to see that, and Scream, but then it's like everything's like, guess what? It's back again, and you're like, oh, how about you make something new? But
says the man who's going to be at Scream 6 opening night multiple times.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
George contains multitudes.
Yeah, I do. That is me.
Well, to wrap up, I will just say thank you all for joining, and to people who watched. This was actually more. Make it a drinking game. I'm sure you could make a drinking game out of our conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Drink every time Amma looks down. Drink
Uh-huh.
every time we mention
That was
Shudder.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And every time
Angel's
Phil
finger
swears.
guns. That's a shot.
Yes.
Gonna get drunk tonight, guys.
But I just, and also because it's still happening and it cracks me up, just subscribe to Fangoria. You don't need to buy that off eBay for like $200.
I don't see any of that money. It's a lose-lose for all of us.
I should start buying or getting like 10 copies and then being like, okay, I can get you that Scream copy for $200.
Edit that out, Yutaka.
Just kidding. I would have been doing that already. I would never do that. I'm like, just subscribe, guys. It's way cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were times in my life where I was so poor back in the day. We're talking like 2013, 2014, when like, I'd get my box of Fangorias that like I shot the cover of, and like I slowly would sell the money to pay my rent.
No, which ones are you missing? I have to track them down. I'm not getting any more work done today. I'm going to be eBay hunting for all of your
restock
covers.
You.
Yeah.
Like I would like sign my Barbara cover and be like $50.
Oh.
Damn.
I kept one. I have one of each of the ones I shot.
That's bleak. So
Okay.
the thing about that, just a side note, Angel, like that's the stuff we have like volumes of in the vault. The 2010 to 2015 stuff. We should get her some.
Okay, we
Let's hook
definitely
up.
should. Let's do it.
Let's just hope our bosses
guys.
aren't watching this.
You know what? I'll tell you the one thing I want from Fangoria ever. So I have been, a contributor to the company for over 10 years. I have never, ever gotten one of the basic, like, red font t-shirts.
What?
And never.
That's easy.
That's your big ask? That's your
my
big
big
Fangoria ask? Oh my god.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for this as soon as we get off.
Yes. We're all gonna repost the link. We're all gonna retweet it, share.
Mhm.
Like,
Make
I
sure
had
you-
to work for Fangoria back when it was, like, mandatory to go to Comic-Con and shit. And I still never got a red Fangoria t-shirt.
You just want the classic tee.
The classic
We're gonna make
tee.
some dreams come true. We're making
In
dreams
my
come true
rider
tonight.
next time.
This was the saddest Make-A-Wish Foundation ever. Can I have a t-shirt? Sure.
Please, just the basic logo shirt.
We
I
got
don't
you.
know if they're made anymore, but like
It's on the site. It's right there. We got you. This is easy. You do this before you hit stop recording.
Yeah. Slack over those sizes. Gonna make this happen.
Oh my goodness.
You and Brandon both. Send me the sizes for both of you.
oh god.
It's easy.
Oh.
See, look, George and I just made dreams come true.
No, I think I
And
did
that's
it.
how it's done.
I don't know why
No.
you're taking credit for that.
I mean, would this have happened if you weren't on this podcast?
This
Maybe
is a
because
technicality.
we would have weirdly asked Emma, like maybe next week, like what's like your one like Fango dream, you know?
If I drive to urgent care, the road didn't save my life, Yutaka. I did.
But I mean, I guess my one Fangoria dream would be like, can we shoot John Boyega for something? Like, I would die. I would fucking die.
Sure.
Like,
I think, aren't they talking about an Attack the Block sequel?
yeah, they are.
Yes.
Look that up.
Like John Boyega, John Carpenter, I've never shot. Bruce Campbell, I've never photographed.
Can't promise Carpenter.
No, he
He doesn't come out. He stays
I
home.
want him to love me so much. I tried.
We'll shoot
so
him in
hard.
his house. And I said we because I'm gonna come with you on that shoot.
Yeah. I trust me. I'm like, John Carpenter, be my friend. He's just like, no.
No, thank you.
Oh, and on that, I think this is where I'll just end because I'm not sure how to end.
Yeah,
Because
ending this is my
Here's
dream.
like, end with Emma's random demands of Fangoria. No.
I would like to
Yes.
say I am so fucking proud of everybody, but Emma in particular, because this was such like a labor of love and like really like seeing the kind of like the chaos and the madness of making like such a big production happen in a squished amount of time and all the moving pieces and stuff. Everyone worked their asses off, but I'm like, this was your vision and I've seen it like come to life, and I think that's amazing. So
Thank you
Definitely.
guys. I honestly could have done it without either of you. Even if it was just a text, either of you be like just being like absolutely insane about something that I was fixated on for like an hour or two. And be like, I can't get this to fucking work or blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And
As
then
a-
like everything worked out and it was just me being neurotic and like sleep deprived. But I honestly I hope people watch this. I hope they love it as much as we love making it.
Shudder TV, 7 p.m. Eastern. Do the math on your own time zones.
Dress up when you watch it. It'll be funner.
Yes.
yeah, show us your red carpet fits. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I
George.
dressed up for the pre-show, so you guys dressed
George,
up
put
too.
some fucking clothes on.
Maybe. We'll see.
Formal up
Or at
top,
least
but
put
ass
like
out.
Put like a fancy thong on or something.
There you
know, like
go.
a formal thong.
Okay.
It's like a
I was-
tuxedo shirt, but the formal black satin thong.
Yeah. I think I might have one somewhere. I'll
Oh
pick it
my
up.
goodness. Oh my
Put the
gosh.
scream mask on. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole section of Craigslist if that still existed. Just saying.
Well then.
Good lord.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm just good. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.